Welcome into Tips for Gamers. Today we are going to be doing 3 rebuilds in 1 rebuild. We're going to try to do it all in one episode. If we can't, we'll do multiple episodes. And we're going to use the Bears here and do a 2023 mock draft rebuild. We're going to have head coach John Mako. He's going to take CJ Stroud in this scenario for the Bears. We got Mac Fleece. You can see up top of your screen. He's going to be taking Bryce Young. And then we got Bo Friday, and he's going to be keeping Justin Fields. And we're going to see how these leagues progress, which one of these teams is better than the other team, and what have you. So let's see if we can get this video to at least 100 likes, guys. And let's just light it up. And each one of these leagues, of course, has the same sliders, same everything to a T. So don't worry about it. I'm sure some of you guys will probably ask me like, oh, is it blah, 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 blah. It's all the same. All right, so for negotiating players here with Mac Fleece, I really don't want David Montgomery, but I'll offer him a contract just a little bit, and I could use him for trade purposes. So that is something I do like. So I'll give him a boost and sign him, do it for trade purposes. I got enough money. The rest of these guys here, I don't really want to sign. I mean, there's no one really, at this moment in time, 24 years old, normal dev, 67 overall. This guy's projected value is around $900,000, okay, a year. And he wants 1.72. He's basically doubling what he's worth to us because he knows that the Bears aren't very good. Now, we're going to probably do the same thing with Bo Friday and John Mako as well. So Mac went pretty crazy in the draft. Dude went insane. I traded a lot. Okay, so got a lot of first-round picks, went real aggressive, went to a full-on rebuild, got Bryce Young, Will Anderson, Peter Skoronski, Tyree Wilson, Quentin Johnston, Luke Whippler, Sam Laporta, Nick Broker, Brian Breesy, Sean Tucker, Ricky Stromberg, Owen, I don't know how to say his last name correctly, Papo, Marion Bins, and then McClendon, Antoine Booker, and then Landry here. So really good overall, pretty fantastic. First one, CJ Stroud off the board. Will Levis was next. Jalen Carter, Will Anderson went to us. Devin Witherspoon, Paris Johnson went to the Raiders. Lucas Van Ness. We got Peter Skoronski, Trenton Simpson, man. I want to get him on one of my teams one of these times. And I had Jordan Addison one time, and he turned into a freak. And I mean an absolute freak. So really good there. I got Jackson Smith and Jigba up on the board there, crushing it. So pretty impressive stuff. Jordan Battle. This is good. This is going to be a really good one here. So here's Bo Friday. Bo Friday was going to keep Justin Fields. So we ended up making, some big trades. Traded quite a bit. We got 4 first-round picks, 2 late ones. Traded up for that. Traded away, next year's picks and some players. Just trying to build up as much as possible. If we're going to keep him, we're going to really keep him and try to build on him. So we got Jalen Carter with the 4th overall pick. We traded out of our first. We got some extra value, too, that we traded up back into the draft as well because that first-round pick was gold. We got Peter Skoronski. He's usually who I'm going to get if I'm especially if he's still there at 10. It's just a no-brainer to me. And then Felix. We got Felix, which is the first time we've ever gotten him. Christian Gonzalez, too, was still left on the board at this time, so we got a great cornerback. We got Jalen Hyatt, who he is going to get a dev upgrade just because of Mooney or our wide receiver that's already on the team. And then we got Steve, so we were going after the offensive line. We also got Gibbs from Alabama. I really like him. I think that, in the right system, this guy's going to explode. We got Nick as well. We got Zach Harrison. We had multiple picks here. We just really needed a rebuild now. That was our biggest thing. Hartwell, just some of these guys here that is like, all right, we're just trying to fill some spots here. These outside linebackers weren't that great, but just trying to fill some spots. So I think Justin Fields has a good chance to succeed in this. We'll see if he can do it. John Mako pulls off a big, huge swoop, getting Miles Sanders, getting Josh Allen, kicker and a punter. So this makes it a little bit easier for the draft. Not as crazy. John Mako's trying to make some things happen. He's trying to be the winning coach. John Mako's draft was a little bit tougher because I had to go with the first round pick. Who am I kidding? This was a great draft. I ended up getting some dudes that I loved. Okay? Will Anderson Jr. You kidding me? Trenton Simpson. Look at him go. Look at the man. And then Jalen. I had to get Jalen. Some of these guys are going to be, the same because it's the same draft class people. And then we got Nick. And I said I wasn't going to draft with all three of them. I lied. John Mako lied because the minute we were in there and I saw Trenton Simpson, I said, I'm going to make him a middle linebacker. And he's going to be the greatest middle linebacker of all time. It's simple as that. He is going to be the greatest linebacker of all time. Linemen, we patched it up as good as we could. We're going to be missing at center. We're going to be missing. But at least we got, we're sitting pretty. So we got a tight end here. I don't really like him. I like this guy at tight end. Actually, he's humongous. Very big dude. And he's got a hidden dev, which pisses me off. And then this free safety here. So all in all, we did the best we could. We tried to hit defense, tried to hit offense. We tried to hit the whole shebang. So here's Mac Fleece's team. He's got Bryce Young, Sean Tucker, Mooney, Quinton Johnson, Porter. Yeah, pretty good dudes here. I'm not going to lie. Some pretty good dudes. Better offensive line. I utilize more of, the draft in this one. We got Binns, Owen, Anderson, Breesy, Tyree Wilson, which is a big one, McClendon, some good dudes. And we moved Gordon to free safety. So, this is a pretty solid team here. Offensively, there's some dogs on this team. I mean, there is. I think that Bryce Young's got a little bit, more weapons around him at this moment in time. So Mac Fleece looks like he's winning this. But being able to trade out of that first-round pick was pretty, it was good for this team because I knew they were going to pick up Bryce Young at that time. So we'll see how Mac Fleece's team turns out at the end. All right, let's check out Bo Friday's unit here. Not too shabby. He's got Gibbs, Mooney, Hyatt again. That's nice. Keeping Cole there. Not too bad. Pretty close to the same line. A few guys are a little bit different here. Gibbs is going to be an interesting one. I'm excited about Gibbs. I think that'll be pretty cool to see. Now, defensively, it's different. They still have Eddie Jackson, Brisker. They got Christian Gonzalez, though, which is very huge. Massive. And then Carter, Felix, Zach Harrison. Very stout defensive line. Not as good. He didn't go as much on the old linebackers. But, it is what it is. Bo is not afraid of nothing. Okay, he's ready to rumble. He's hungry, and he's cooking. So here is John Mako's team with CJ Stroud. We moved Braxton Jones to right tackle. We got Jenkins, Alva. Breeland's going to start at left tackle there. We're going to just try to build Breeland up as much as possible. Robinson, the wide receiver we drafted, very big dude. We're going to put him at tight end, just let him grow. And then Hyatt will get a dev upgrade just because of Mooney. And, that's the way it is. And we got Miles Sanders. So this is a good combo here. This is a pretty solid combo. I like it. The offense isn't perfect, no, but it's still, pretty solid offense. Defensively, you got a little bit of a switch up here. Robinson, the safety's not as good, but we got Trenton Simpson. We got Binns here. And then we moved Sanborn over to right outside linebacker. We got Johnson, Will Anderson, Breesy, Jones, and Josh Allen. And then Gordon. So that's just kind of what we're trying here. So yeah, I think this is a solid team. We'll see how it fares against Fleece's team or Bo Friday's. So Fleece ended up going 6-11. So he was actually 1 win off, which is interesting. But Bryce Young, he was the #1 quarterback. He did very well. 5,100 yards, 28 TDs. Not as good on, not as many passing yards. He got sacked 41 times, though. He threw a lot of interceptions, but not too bad. I mean, the thing about him right now is we're working on, building him to where he's more of a pocket passer, like more polished in that area, just kind of building him up. But I'd still say a really good rookie season. And then Tucker did great. I think Tucker did fantastic. Mooney did great. Quentin Johnston, really good. Sam Laporta, really good. So he's got a lot. Who gave up the most sacks, too? Okay, it was basically both the rookies. And then Binns did great. He did fantastic. Owen, I would say this is a very good season for Owen. Very good. 107 tackles. Can't complain there. Let's go to the sacks. Will Anderson got 10.5. Breesy got 8. Tyree Wilson got 6.5. And then, pretty good there. Going on pretty good. So, nothing crazy. They were pretty similar with each other, I would say. It was pretty similar. Justin Herbert gets MVP. Coach of the Year, Lovie Smith. Oh, my God. They went 11 and hoopla. Jesus, Lord have mercy. George Pickens. Okay. TJ Watt. All right. Nothing shocking. CJ Stroud. Okay. Jordan Addison. You got Jordan Addison. It's not even fair, man. I was wondering where our guys were at, too. I was like, something ain't right here. Jack Campbell. Man. That's a good unit. You got a good unit there. That was pretty good. Pretty solid work there. All right, we'll just look at the top guys here. Trey Smith. Best D-line. Nice. Best. Okay. All right. Let's move to the NFC side. We'll go to kicker first because that's the most important. Defensive player. So what was the offensive player? Cooper Kupp. Okay. Lawrence. All right. BJ. Whoa. 84 overall, man. Dear God. Offensive rookie. Hendon Hooker's on the Rams. Parker Washington. Man. Jalen. He's a beast. Bryce Young. Man, I feel like they're just, because of our record, they're just like, nah, we hate you guys. BJ. That's crazy. That is crazy. But is he up here somewhere? Nope. He is not up here. Hendon Hooker's up there. Okay, so Hendon Hooker's doing kind of what Will Levis is doing in the other one. Isn't that interesting, though? I mean, you could literally go on just one team, and your entire career can be just completely changed just off of going to one team. I mean, I truly believe in that. I mean, you go to a team, and you're like, Jesus Christ, what am I doing here? What am I doing on this team? Mariota? Really? Yikes. Okay, you guys slim pickings here, huh? Slim pickings. And then, really? Okay. Interesting. Mooney. Nice. Both quarterbacks got their guy. Cole Kmet. When he leaves, he is not on this team. Not on this team anymore. So, all right, no young guys. BJ's up there. Good for you. Will Anderson Jr. I love it as a rookie going to the Pro Bowl. That is beautiful. Jalen Carter's turning into a monster already. Benton's up there too. Freaking almost 3 rookies. Well, 2 rookies. So nice. Pretty amazing there. Okay. All right. Nothing that like awesomeness, but okay. So Mako goes 7-10 with CJ Stroud. Fleece goes 6-11 with Bryce Young. We'll see how it pans out. We'll see how Justin Fields does compared to these guys with Bo Friday. But it's a close one. I mean, there's no, right now Mako's ahead, but that's we got multiple years. We'll see if that stays the same. So Bo wasn't as happy. 3-14. They just couldn't pick it up. It was a tough year. Definitely a tough year for Bo. Bo is not. He's like, come on. I don't get Bryce Young. I got to stick with Justin Fields. But Justin Fields did good. He didn't do bad. He really didn't. I mean, good numbers. 5,000 yards passing. He was sacked 42 times, about the same. Gibbs didn't. We're working on Gibbs' power back, kind of giving him a little bit of a balance because Gibbs is not a power back. That's just not what Gibbs is. He's a speed dude. He's all speed. So working on his power back, still going to boost up his overall, which is good. I was kind of hoping he'd get to that superstar dev. He has that ability. He's that running back who can be, a top 10 running back in the league, in my opinion. Very good running back. And then St. Brown did good, which is shocking. Mooney did pretty good, but he got injured. He only played 13 games. And then Hyatt did pretty solid here. One of these leagues, Hyatt didn't get, I forget which one it was, but he didn't get the development upgrade. I which I don't know why Mooney just held out on trying to hook him up with the development upgrade, which I don't know why. But Jack just exploded in this. 159 tackles. Jesus Christmas. I mean, dear Lord, Felix just was like, I'm eating. Jalen Carter. These are some dogs. So, all in all, not a great season. Can't say it's a great season. But I definitely can say that, there's things that you look at and go, all right, it'll be good. Freaking Will Anderson went to the Titans. I didn't expect that. Did not expect that. NFC. So right now he's behind. He's definitely behind, but he'll get there. So Bryce Young got Offensive Rookie of the Year, which is pretty cool to see. Hyatt was close to their Defensive Rookie. Jalen Carter and Felix were close. Best QB. Man, Bryce almost won it. He almost won it. So, impressive here. Nick Bosa, nothing crazy. I don't know who's going to get into the Pro Bowl here. But Fieldski. So Bryce Young went in. Nice. Nice. St. Brown. That's not our guy, though. But pretty cool, though. Pretty cool. Kincaid. Look at him go. I don't know who else. Felix, nice work, big dog. Good work. So not a lot of guys. But the thing is when you go 3-14, not a lot to be expected. So John Mako took his team 7-10, and it was very ugly. It was an ugly road in the beginning. I imagine that all these teams are going to be super ugly right in the start because it was just a lot of work and losses and injuries like nobody's business. And I was getting a little worried. I was like, all right, man, am I going to get fired? John Mako's going to get fired first time ever in his whole life. And it was just, kind of winning off and on and started picking up towards the end of the season. So it is an interesting one. Definitely interesting. I got to look at the stats. Check out the old statage going. What do we got for the stats? So 5,100 yards. He was third in the NFL, fourth in passing yards. Defensively, not so hot. CJ Stroud, I think, had a great rookie season, though. There's no doubt. He's probably going to get Rookie of the Year. Miles Sanders did really good. He actually split some carries. He splitted with Eber, whatever the guy's name is. And then Mooney he was clapping. I mean, that dude was clapping. And, so some contracts will need to be signed. See who we could keep. But Simpson wow, him and Benz. Jesus, Lord have mercy. These guys, who gets Defensive Rookie of the Year? Can you share it? Can you take part of the trophy? Because, man, you got basically the same. He got one more pick, but almost identical in every way. 2 sacks, 1.5 sack, 3 interceptions, 4 interceptions. These two guys just killed people. All right, let's look at the sackage. What do we got here in the sackage? Josh Allen with 8. Will Anderson with 7.5. Brian Breesy with 4.5. Look at him go. He's the champion of the people. I bet you Benz goes into the Pro Bowl. What do you think? I bet you Benz. I bet you everybody. Everybody. Will Levis, give me a break. Come on now. What's going on here? What's going on here? Okay, all right. So far, nothing. Mooney, look at him go. Mooney is up and going, baby. Washington is a rookie. Massive dude. That guy is humongous. He's a mountain with lakes. A mountain with lakes. But what else do we got here? Okay. All right. No one cool so far. Everybody, Breesy, it's our boy. Come on, how in the world did you not put those guys up? That is stupid. Gardner Johnson. Man, Ronnie Hickman went up as a rookie. That is pretty freaking wild, man. Look at you go. Look at you go. Jalen Hurts with the MVP. Will Levis. You kidding me? Will Levis was number 2 on the MVP list. Yikes. Offensive Player of the Year. Okay. Defensive Player of the Year. All right. Offensive Rookie. Bryce Young. Look at him go. He is Offensive Rookie. Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's an 83 overall. Bijan Robinson's an 86 after 1 year. Joey Porter Jr. that's the first time I've seen him get Defensive Rookie. Felix, look at him go. Wow. Best quarterback. I think that's a bit of a stretch, though, that... this is the AFC. I was like, something's going on here, boys. I don't like it. Turns out we're in the wrong division. Simple fix. All right, offensive line here. No one cool. Come on, give me some of the rookies. Judon, look at you go, Judon. Snead, you got 2 dudes? Yo, that's pretty good. How do you get you? And you're not best cornerback even at all? It's crazy. Offensive player. All right, I don't see that happening. I think that's a bold-faced lie. Defensive Player of the Year. All right. I think this is oh, okay, Offensive Rookie. What numbers did he hit? He took him 11-6. I get that. I understand. Defensive Rookie, yeah, I knew it was going to be, it was all 3 of our guys. That's just the way it is. But boy, oh boy, CJ Stroud did not come close at all on that. Just got mowed down. Mooney was up there. Come on, give us a bear. Give us a bear. Where's the Bears? There they are. Will Anderson, nice job. Nice job. Trenton, come on, that's a lie, man. You know Riddick didn't do as good. But come on, Parsons even admitted it on Twitter. Give me a break. All right. Look at Hickman up there. That's the first time I've ever seen Hickman up there. Usually he gets drafted by someone who doesn't ever use him. So Mac Fleece is in the offseason here with Jaylon Johnson. And the thing about Jaylon is he just didn't want to sign. Now, that's not the end thing, because a team always has to where they have the ultimate say, and there's no one else here that, we have to sign. And the ultimate say is just franchise tagging him. You still have the right. You're going to pay a high premium, but this still gives you the ability now to go, hey, I want to trade him away. You'll pay a little bit here and there, but if he doesn't want to sign and he doesn't want to be here, fine, we'll trade you somewhere else. But we still want to be able to, profit off of you being such a good player and our organization getting behind you and building you up to what you are today. We don't want to just draft him and then let him fly the coop, and we're like, man, we really lost out on, even getting something for him, for his talent, how good he is. So that's a big thing. Now we're going to move into the free agency time. There's not a lot of draft picks here that Mac Fleece has. So we could use Jaylon Johnson to, kind of utilize that draft problem. I guess you'd say it is a problem. I mean, it's not a problem. I'm really not that concerned about it, or Mac Fleece wouldn't have done it, but he's got 2 second-round picks. He traded everything for this year, which is 2 second-round picks is fine. We also want to try to sign all these guys so we don't need a heavy draft. And then what we would do is we, kind of make some not too many trades, make a few trades just to kind of replenish that. So with Mac Fleece, he's obviously got Bryce Young. The roster needs to be replenished in certain areas, but for the most part, it's a really, really solid roster. This roster is really good. Sean Tucker, maybe get a backup halfback, like a third string, get a new fullback. That's something to worry about. Now, Quentin Johnston, I think this is a really good wide receiver combo. He ended up signing Mooney to a 3-year deal as well, which is a great deal. I mean, it gives us till he's 29. At that point in time, we'll just let him go. We don't unless he becomes like a Hall of Fame situation. And then obviously things change or his overall increases drastically and we feel he'll last the sands of time. And then Sam Laporta, really good offensive line, very solid offensive line. Jenkins, too, I don't see why you wouldn't want to just sign this, build on him. Replacing him is not hard to do. It's just really not. it's actually preferable, and you're going to end up getting a better player out of it. You know, by the time, if we get a rookie guy, by the time, you know, he hits 26 years old, he's probably going to be like an 88, 90. You know, so if you're looking at just age to age, but at this moment in time with Jenkins being able to, Lyman being able to last longer, you know, there's not a real itch to be like, I got to get rid of him. Oh, got to. Broker. Tyree Wilson. Now, Bosa is on the free agency, so it is kind of like, do you do that dance and try to, you know, replace Tyree Wilson? But the thing about Tyree Wilson is he does have a star dev. The guy will build up. So it's not necessarily profitable as much as you're licking your chops and going, man, I'd love to have a guy like that on the team. That $44 million price tag is what you're going to have to spend to get over the Giants. That's a hefty beast. Now, a good backup D tackle, sure, not too bad. That would be a great move there. But for the most part, I got to say, like, maybe right outside linebacker, another cornerback here. The safeties are actually not terrible at all. I mean, could add another safety. But another really good corner, maybe two corners if we trade Jaylon, if we just feel like, hey, it's not going to work, trade him. So right now, Fleece is looking pretty good for the free agency. So this is a big trade here. But the thing is, you know, Mac Fleece, he's just out here. He's just, you know, peck popping and breaking buttons. That's what he's doing. He's aggressive. You know, you think about it too. Coaches, when you first start, okay, you first come in, you basically have 2 years. You don't have like what a lot of these coaches, they got a lot of time in these good franchises, and they can sit and build up a team from the ground up, and they don't have to be super aggressive and quick. Now, you got to be aggressive. You got to be fast. You got to be aggressive. You got basically 2 to 3 years to change an entire franchise. Look at Matt Rule. The dude didn't even stand a chance to change the Panthers. He really didn't stand a chance. Now, you look at a team like the Texans with Bill O'Brien, they gave him the keys to the car for too long. So you have both spectrums. Here, you got to get aggressive. Jaylon Johnson is a first-round talent, right? So he's trade talent or trade currency's first round. So we asked for the first-round pick, first overall from the Giants. We have to give up our first-round pick. Mac Fleece went 6-11 this season, so, you know, they're projected to be terrible too. And then you got the second-round pick on top of it, and we're getting all their picks of this year. They're getting all the value of next year. Plus, they're getting Jaylon Johnson. They're getting him for only like $9 million this year, so it's pretty cheap. They'll be able to sign him. They got the funds, and they're going to have, you know, a cornerback for the next however many years. And then you're getting the first and second overall next year, and we only get a third-round pick. So you're getting a first, second, and Jaylon Johnson, and we're getting a first, second, and then a third. So it's still more profitable to them to make this trade. And Mac Fleece is just ready to break some buttons, you know what I mean? So Mac Fleece is just, you know, he's doing his thing out here. I'd say this is a very polished senior move, very solid, good strategy. Mac Fleece, this guy's smart dude. You got A.J. Terrell Jr. and Travion Diggs, so that puts the cornerback, which was, you know, a question mark, that puts them into where now they're a strength. You know, so from 1 year, question mark, to next year, it's like, all right, that worked out well. And with the first overall pick, Mac Fleece, he's doing his thing, man. It's, as much as it is, the dude is in charge. And, it's hard not to be going after this cornerback here because that just puts the defense. Oh, this guy, Josh Kincaid. Oh, it's over. It doesn't even matter. It's over. Best cornerback crew in America. So Mac Fleece, I think he had a pretty good draft. I really do. I think this was a solid draft for him. I think he's going to look like a G. Whoa, this corner was good. That was worth it. That's one of the best corners I've ever seen. Man, this dude's an X Factor. Ain't no way. 83. Bro, you're getting captain already, man. Come on now. Don't tell me you got the long sleeves, though. God dang it. You're looking like a goofball, man. No, Madden. How many dudes are doing the long sleeves, bro? Like Eli Manning? Come on, man. What is this? I got to make sure I don't see the development because I want to be shooketh. There we go. Tight. Man, you need a visor, bro. Oh, cowboy collar? That's what I'm talking about, bro. Look at that. All right. This guy needs he needs a visor, man. And he needs a new number. We need to, like, put him at, like, He's got to be, yeah, number 2. Yeah, that's like, you'll never forget that. And then you got to go the equipment. Let's go down real quick. A guy like this, you got to take your time. You know, this is just, we got to do back, not left, back, center, bro. Oh, yeah, dude. That's dope. Dope. Those cleats are huge, man. You got some big calves, bro. It's all calves, man. He's bigger than his quads. What is that? Sock, height, tucked. Yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about, bro. And honestly, one more just to make it to where you, if you see him ever, you're just like, that's the best. You got to get the turf tape. Hit it with the long on the sides. Oh, dude. Crazy, bro. Kincaid. Man, this dude's a G. That was good. Okay. You know, usually I get excited, but that kind of excited, like that dude's, and I know some people are like, well, you're going to have 3 good. Yeah, I may move one to safety. I don't know. I can do whatever I want. That's what's beautiful. And then getting this guy here, Ash, I don't actually, oh, I know why I got him. Because I was looking at maybe I could put him at safety if he was that good and then keep 3 good corners. Either way, I was like, I want cornerback. I want deep backs. Deep backs were a problem. Got a D tackle here. He was the best dude there was. And then a wide receiver, Clint Lipton, getting a starting, probably a slot. He might not play slot, though. But he's at least going to be in the lineup, and he's going to be getting the ball. The guy's a hidden dev. So hidden dev linebacker, hidden dev, looking good. Switching over to Bo Friday here. Mooney didn't sign. It's something that he's going to try to get him to sign, but, you know, not giving him too much. He just, no matter what we offered him, it was just like, nah, he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to do it. The rest of these guys, you know, and that was the big problem was the other one was Johnston, but these guys here, a lot of these guys don't want to sign. So with Mooney, it would be worthwhile to franchise tag him. We're not going to pay that full $29 million, and we'll trade him away, but not letting him just, you know, leave, going with the franchise tag. So we agree to trade. Bo Friday agrees with the Chiefs getting a first-round pick. It's a late first-round pick, but you know, it is what it is. Last trade before the draft, Bo trades Eddie Jackson, a 4th-round pick for 2 seconds. One this year, one next year. Bo Friday's cooking up something good here. Brandon Ayuk, so replaced him. That's a big thing, being able to replace the wide receiver. Isaiah Simmons could play middle linebacker for us, can do a lot. Isaiah Simmons can be a household name real quickly on this defense. So hit 2 big parts that we needed to hit, and I think Bo Friday's ready for some rumbling and grumbling there. And we tried to get Josh Jacobs, but, you know, there wasn't as many good guys on this as there was for Mac Fleece, but, you know, gave a good offer, probably more than Green Bay, but he just wasn't there. Now, switching over to John Mako, we got a right tackle so far, Tristan Wirfs, which is ridiculous. So John Mako is really patching that offensive line, and he's about to have a good draft. So there wasn't a big draft by any means, but it was a necessary draft for him. Got a wide receiver, another talent there, backup tight end, backup guys here, backup middle linebacker. Got him more for his speed than, you know, trying to get the best overall or anything like that. Plus, there was not a lot of linebackers really left. Good cornerback here in the 5th round. He has a hidden dev. So, you know, John Mako did a lot of his work in the first season. Second season, a little bit of marinating. And then he's ready to go, ready to chop it up. So here's Mac Fleece's team. You got Bryce Young, Sean Tucker, Quentin Johnston, Lipton, and then Mooney's going to be slot. Really good guys. I mean, this unit is terrifying. Really, really terrifying. Kincaid's going to get the start. Diggs is going to be slot. Terrell Jr. is going to be second. This is the best cornerback crew that you're going to have in a bit, and he's going to lead. Kincaid's going to be the guy. Benz, Owen, Davis, the rookie, and then, you know, obviously D-tackle, defensive line in general. They're young. They need to be brought up, and they'll be good. We got Brisker, and then we got the rookie, Ash. Now you got Bo Friday's team. He's got the Justin Fields version. Justin Fields version. Dear Lord, that wasn't easy. 2 dudes who look the exact same. They're twinskies. I got to change that, man. Madden? Come on, man. You make me do extra work. I'm trying to grind it out here and freaking crush it. You know, good team. I would say a pretty good team. Pretty solid. And I got to change that guy's face. It's going to bother me forever. And same with Bo. I can hear him yelling in my ear, just change it. Let's see here. Good, pretty good. Christian Gonzalez. And Jalen Carter. Boy, this defense. It is, there's the difference. I mean, there's some of these guys, like, I don't know, Mac ended up going crazy with the cornerbacks. I really thought Bo's cornerbacks were better, but no, not so much. I mean, Bo's D-line is probably going to be better, except for, the Zach Harrison part right here, unless he gets a hidden dev here soon. But Felix is just crushing it. Really good linebackers, too. So that is something that is pretty important here. Their linebackers got the star devs. You'll see how his team does. I don't know if his team right now, I still don't think they're going to do as good as Mac Fleece's, but you never know. Next up, switching over to John Mako. He has CJ Stroud, Miles Sanders. Mooney did not hook him up with the dev. Mooney, I don't know what his problem was with Hyatt in this one, but he said, nah. Now, his team's good. Breland, this part a little bit sucks, but then he went and hit it with Tristan Wirfs too, so that's some Big Daddy status right there. Mooney's going to be slot in this one. Mooney's in this one, which Bo Friday does not have Mooney. And then defensive line is definitely polished. Very polished defensive line. Now, the cornerback crew is really where, honestly, I keep wanting to put Crosby to the number 2 spot and then have Crosby just build up at this time. He's got Trenton Simpson, though. Brisker's up to a superstar dev in this one. And Simpson's dude's a nightmare. I mean, he's a nightmare. So each one of them has, like, unique, parts to him that it's, like, pretty impressive. So we'll see how John Mako's team does. I think Mac Fleece's is so far right now the best one. So we'll go over the stats first, but Mac Fleece with Bryce Young, this team is shockingly good. They definitely are a team to be, scared of. I would definitely be nervous of this team. And I know that John Mako's team and then you got Bo Friday's team, like, they're good teams, but you're definitely scared of this team. 5,000 yards, 36 TDs, 16 TDs from Sean Tucker. All the receivers got in, even Clint Lipton, a rookie out of Southern Utah. Quentin Johnson, I wish he was doing a little better, but all in all, really good. Defensively, Binns and Owen are just crushing it. Sack-wise, we had some, high numbers here. Will Anderson Jr. You got Brian Breesy and Tyree Wilson at 9.5, which is pretty sweet from the big fellas up front. And then, obviously, just, domination. I'm not going to go over the awards because there is no awards for our guys. Our guys were recommended, but they weren't there. But the interesting part about the season is, like, in the beginning of the season, it just seemed like, oh, like, God, they were terrible. They were still, like, young and just didn't really know what they were doing. And then they started picking it up. So you can see here we got 2 wins. So we were 2-3 at the time, then hit it with 2 losses and 2 wins. And it was just like, all right, when are we going to start catching our groove? And we start catching our groove week 11. And then Mac Fleece's team just started fleecing everybody. And then go to the postseason here. We face the Eagles, the Vikings, and then the Cowboys. And we won. So now we got the Chiefs up next. And I'm just hoping that Fleece pulls this out and gets a Sizbiz, because that's going to be like your second year winning a Sizbiz, going straight for the old Sizbiz. Man, that's a tough task to beat right there, especially if he keeps churning. And they lost. Oh, my God. Come on. Oh, that's painful. That's freaking painful there. Fleece is not happy. Definitely not happy, because that should have been a dub. Chris Jones got it. Oh, that's terrible. 20-35, and we were just mowing teams. It really felt like it was our year. It really did. So Bo Friday, it wasn't as good for him. He went 4-13. Last year though, they were 3-14. So a little bit of a boost going on there. But this team is good. Justin Fields, there's a lot to get around. He's behind the other guys at this moment in time, even though it's only a year. Those guys picked up quick. really aggressive. And, there's things we're working on him with. So at this moment, Bo Friday, a little bit frustrated trying to get his team going. But so far, Isaiah Simmons did really good. 4 interceptions, 128 yards, 10 sacks from Felix, Jalen Carter 5, and Zach Harrison 3. 4 interceptions, really solid. Only 3 guys on our team got interceptions, which is just crazy. But it's still, I think they'll do good. They'll pick it up. It's only year, 2? So it's not too bad. A lot of guys here. Nice. Okay, Chris Olave. Trio. Okay. Cool. All right. Yep. Not as many guys. We got to have our linebacker at least. Wow. Really thought we'd have more guys. Okay. It's depressing. Now switching over to John Mako. Looking good with CJ Stroud right now. CJ Stroud is lighting it up. They also win 11-6 on the season. So Fleece and Mako are like kind of neck and neck, a little bit neck and neck. One jumped up a little bit more than the other, but it's still a close race between the two. You got CJ Stroud, 37 TDs, 9. This is the difference between him, even Bryce Young and Justin Fields. Justin Fields is not quite hitting those numbers. He could, but Miles Sanders with 20 TDs is ridiculous. Really good offensive performance. Robinson, Hyatt, Mooney, really good there. And then defensively, 139 tackles from Binns. He is just such a beast, such a monster. Trenton Simpson did pretty good. Definitely did pretty good. I love having Trenton Simpson. Josh Allen had 14 sacks. Brian Breesy. And then, we had injuries too, by the way. Quite a bit of injuries, but a lot of interceptions too for the team. Really solid. Let's go over the awards now. We'll go over yearly awards first. Light it up with that. See what we got. What do we got? Justin Fields became MVP. Look at that. That's hilarious. Doug Peterson. Too bad he couldn't do that in Bo Fridays. That would have been great. So, okay. Patrick Mahomes, not a shock there. None of these shocked me. Jordan Battle, that's shocking. That's pretty cool. Offensive Player of the Year, what do we got? Williams, okay. Donald. Justin Fields, and then CJ Stroud is second there. Sanders was up there. I don't know how Sanders wasn't higher. That's just crazy to me, but Tevin's exploding. He's on the list. Josh Allen, yeah, BJ's up there. So Mac Fleece is going to trade up in the draft with just one pick. He doesn't have a whole lot of picks in this one, so this is the only trade he's going to be doing. So Mac Fleece's draft was pretty solid. He replaced the strong safety. Gatewood's a beast. The rest of these guys are just backups. That's really all it is. We just need guys to fill the position. Some good guys in here, but we just needed to fill the position. I think Mac Fleece's team is, it's really good. So Bo Friday's draft wasn't too great, too bad. 3 good guys here. One of them drafted too high, but, the only reason he was drafted too high is because he has a normal depth. Other than that, if he had like a superstar depth, it wouldn't be, it'd be completely normal. Earl Harbor, good backup tight end, good backup right tackle, good team all in all. I wouldn't say it's a bad draft. All right, so John Mako's peck popping because he just got some pretty solid talent getting Greg, kind of bringing more youth to that DN position, but that gives us more ability, $139 million. We could end up trading away the DN that's there now, Josh Allen, and signed him for a 5-year deal as well. So they have Greg for, a long time. And this dude is a powerhouse. So you got him. Then, of course, you're getting Asante Samuel Jr. with it, too. Not too bad of a contract. I can't complain with that one. I think it's solid. And then a backup right outside linebacker. But, John Mako's just... He's got to have a good season this year. He's got to try to win a Super Bowl because his team's getting close to that point, and you just can't let the others win at all costs. So the Broncos really just gave it to John Mako, and they wanted a lot for this 3rd overall pick. So we gave him Allen, paid off $15 million, Gordon, and then the first-round pick of next year as well to move up. The team's pretty good. It's just trying to solidify, like, hey, we're the best. Like, to take that next step, there's like one final step the team needs to make. All three of these teams, they need to make one final step. They're like close. They keep flirting around with that 88 overall throughout the season and what have you, and that's great. They flirt with the playoffs, and they're there, but they're just not quite at the next step. They're just like, almost there. There's one more step they need to make, and then that's when they hit just beef status and go from there. But this will help them get to beef status. John Mako's draft, whew, he showed up into town, squared off with everyone, and he just came out on top. I mean, dear Lord, John Mako. Demetrius Milner. I ended up trading one of the wide receivers we had that was a normal dev after drafting Demetrius Milner because he is just, woo, he is impressive. And then Dante Russell, this guy could play anywhere. This guy is just as mean as it gets out of Tennessee. This guy he's tough. Hunting hogs and just absolutely dominating on football. And then you got Lance Bryan. This guy is just, woo, he is fast. All right, he is too fast for his own cleats. And then you got Glenn Winters, and he's a big dude, too, to be that fast, out of Oklahoma. You got Glenn Winters, 2 out of Oklahoma. We went 2 Oklahoma guys. Apparently, Oklahoma actually got some defense going there, which is pretty impressive. And then we rocked out Middle Tennessee State because the guy's fast. That was basically why he was selected in the 4th round. He's fast, and we need a backup at that position. But I'll say this, John Mako's draft, pretty good, pretty exciting. So this is Mac Fleece's team looking really, really good for 2025. Going on his 3rd year now. If he can win a Super Bowl this year, obviously it'd be pretty amazing for him. But Peter Skoronski's doing great. Stromberg, everyone's doing really good. Everyone's doing really, really good. Quentin Johnston, great player there. Tucker's doing fantastic. I think Bryce Young's going to become an X factor after this season. But for the most part, I mean, everyone is just, very, very solid on this team. Very solid. Breesy, Will Anderson Jr., Tyree Wilson. I mean, just very, very good team. Now, Kincaid obviously is, in my opinion, he's the best corner. So I'm going to put him up, let him start there, see what he can do. But this team is very, very dangerous. John Mako's squad, pretty snazzy. It's a good squad. Obviously, Freeland's a guy to watch right now on the offensive line. Tristan Wirfs, huge add to the team. But left tackles are one weak spot. Robinson needs to have a big year this year. I think it's going to be a big one for him. Miles Sanders, see how many touchdowns he can rock. Milner's getting the start. Look at him go. Welcome Milner to the team. What a beast. Mooney's going with the slot, and then Hyatt's going to be wide receiver 2. Feeling good. We're all looking good in pads. And that's half of the war right there is looking good in the pads, You got Greg. Welcome to the team. Everyone give him a round of applause. Welcome in, Greg. How you doing? Brisker's coming up on a contract. We'll see what he does. He's got a rookie behind him who, if he gets a development, he's a star. He probably would have been starting just because he'd be elite. And then you got Trenton Simpson. He's going to have the best year of his life right now. That's what he told me, and he's going to light it up. Two guys on the opposite side, Breesy and Will Anderson. Whew, ready to go. Jalen Johnson's going to have a big season. Asante Samuel, welcome to the team. Asante. And you got Russell at slot here. This is a great team, and they're ready to light it up. All right, Bo Fridays. His is slightly ahead in this, but this is Bo Friday's unit for the year. Really good guys across the board that are just fantastic. Nolan is an absolute monster. Hartwell, really good wide receivers that just need to keep building up. Hyatt in this one's definitely a higher overall. Mooney hooked him up in the beginning. Mooney in the other one, Mako's said, nah, I'm not doing it. I refuse. That's my alternate self. Different reality, bud. Psh, not me. Not this guy. So, yeah, really good for the most part. Center's the one here that we got to watch. Every single one of these guys has, except for Mac Fleece's, his offensive line is probably the most situated offensive line. But the others are really, really close. Like, really, really close. Christian Gonzalez, just basically a hero back there. Isaiah Simmons, Landry, a lot of superstar devs on this one. Franklin, a lot of really good dudes. Jalen Carter's a monster. And then Zach Harrison's, he's picking it up. He's starting to pick it up. He started off slow. He's coming on up the ranks. So Mac Fleece didn't get the job done. It was supposed to be a better season this season. Theoretically, that's what one would think. But 8-9 injuries were a little bit of a thing. There's no doubt about that. But still, solid performance. I mean, Bryce Young got first in passing TDs, which is something pretty fancy there. Tucker did good. A lot of guys did really good. It just, obviously there was, there's still some growing pains that you got to go through with a rebuild of this nature. Benz did great. 12.5 sacks from Anderson. Brian Breesy did 10. Tyree Wilson stepping it up. Not as much for, the number's not as big as we want them to be. We obviously wanted more wins. And as it sits right now, he is 25-26, Fleece, and he's won a conference championship. So far, pretty solid season. This is the second season that he didn't go above 500. But last year's season, he did really, really well. So for the most part, upward trajectory. He's a guy that if you face with his team, you have close to 50% chance of losing that game, regardless of how good you are. MVP goes to Patrick Mahomes, Coach of the Year. Lamar Jackson, Miles, okay, all right. Patrick Mahomes, not a shock. Jonathan Taylor, George Pickens in this. Trey Smith, Greg, who is on one of the other teams. He's on John Mako. So John Mako's team, that's where Greg is. We'll see how he does. And then Bo Friday's got Trenton Simpson too, which is a pretty nasty one. And he wins it here. That's pretty impressive. Going to the NFC side, Saquon Barkley. Nice. He was up there close. We didn't have any guys there. Defensive rookie, though, John, which is good to see. Bryce Young gets QB2 in the NFC, which is still frustrating. Mooney was up there. He gets wide receiver 3. Pretty fantastic for the most part, though, with a lot of our guys. We got a couple of DBs up there. Let's go to the Pro Bowl here. Look at the Pro Bowl. Bryce Young makes it to the Pro Bowl. That's what we're talking about. All right, Mooney's up there. Good for you, big dog. Good for you. Sam Laporta, look at you go, Sam Laporta. Look at you go. Whippler, look at you go, Whip. Ooh, Osiris. Whoa. Greg, there you are. Oh, man, BJ's up there. What a beast. Breesy, Brian Breesy. Benz. Look at him go. Yeah, a lot of good guys up there too. So far, productive to a degree. Still moving on up. Year 3. Not expecting anything too amazing year 3. I expected more than this. Bo Friday's still trying to figure things out in year 3. His team is definitely not as set up as the other guys. The quarterbacks obviously excelled a little bit more, but Bo Friday, there's still things to look forward to. I mean, right now it is painful. He's 13-38, no playoff wins at this moment in time. But for the most part, the team still is showing that it's a solid team. I mean, obviously they're not winning as much as the other guys. Bo Friday's record is kind of not great, but at the same point in time, it is only year 3, and it's a building process too for this team. It's a major rebuild, and we went a different route. So, good wide receivers. I would say everyone did pretty fantastic. The X Factor, I have great plans for him. I think he's going to be amazing. Defensively, yeah, Isaiah Simmons did pretty good. You also had Clements do pretty solid as well. Sack-wise, this is where it hurt us. Same playbook schemes and everything. It just, injuries, different things like that happen. I'm not blaming it on injuries, but a team like this, needs to have things fall in line pretty quick for them. And if you start getting a little injuries here, or you start getting some other things happening, lack of confidence or what have you, you start to fight a little bit of an uphill battle. But he'll get one. You'll see it flip, and he'll get one of his years, and he'll start to, really put things together with his team, because his team is still really young. So there's a lot of growing pains to do. And for the most part, there's not too many yearly awards. His season was kind of But we'll move on to John Mako and then see who's going to dominate after the 10 years. So John Mako's unit went 11-6. They lost in the wild card. Okay, so right now, currently, John Mako is sitting at 28-23 with a wild card win. In my book, he's still at number 2, though, because Mac Fleece is 25-26 and has a conference championship. Bo Friday is clearly just way back there eating some snacks. He's at 13-38. Okay, so he's obviously way further behind the other guys, but he could turn that around with a Super Bowl win, kind of getting things going there. But for the most part, John Mako's team, starting to roll. And that's a good sign. That is a good sign right at this moment. Starting to roll. Running backs, they're still flipping it between the two. There's some injuries, but nothing like truly insane. Milner did great as a rookie. Absolutely fantastic. I really like Milner. I think he's a beast. There was 3 100 tackle players, Brisker, and he got a contract. He earned himself a contract. Binns was great. 6 sacks from Robinson. And then Brian Breesy. So the sacks weren't as big this year. They just weren't. But all in all, I would say that this was, a very good year. CJ Stroud almost got MVP, which is pretty impressive there. Josh Allen on the Broncos in this one. We got defensive rookie. Houston got defensive rookie, not us. So you got Aaron Donald. Nice. Milner. Round of applause for the young man, the scholar of the century. And then Nick Broker, which is huge. Look at that. That's massive. So, yeah, all in all, very good season, productive season. So, I'd still say Fleece and Mako are, they're more neck and neck. And, they're competing. One's 1 year away from just kind of exploding on the scene and winning a Super Bowl and just dominating. Fleece got 8-9 seasons, so not as successful there, but he's still a conference championship title belt holder. And then Bo Friday's going to just, he's a sleeper car, man. He's coming. You don't know when. He'll be there sometime. So Mac Fleece trades away Mooney. He's coming up on a contract. Trades him away for pick 12. So that's pick 11 now and pick 12 that they have. So, some of these guys, they're good. But, just keep needing to just level up. Just getting a level up going, Just got to keep leveling up. That's all. Nothing big. Big time draft for Mac Fleece, doing well. Good wide receiver here, Peppers, Bibbs. Good backup left tackle as well. Another good wide receiver who has the ability to play tight end. Good power back with a hidden dev. Pretty solid guys. Guys to just tune the team up, make them better. Bo Friday lit it up. He did very well. Evan Wilcox, beast. Corey Lynch, who's a beast. Really good cornerback. So we have the safeties covered, cornerbacks. Really good left end here. Very fantastic draft for the most part. I mean, it was really good. Got some backup guys that we needed, but really good draft. All right, let's go over John Mako's draft. Pretty solid one. We got a strong safety, Percy Reed. He's going to be starting, replacing Brisker. And he was just really good. Sitting there, and it's like, all right, it's time. It's time to replace our strong safety. And then Davis back up, and then the rest are just backups here. All right, Mac Fleece, he's going to try to light it up this year and actually win a Sizbiz, and he's got a great team. I mean, this is a very expensive team. I don't know how we're going to actually afford them, but we'll worry about that when the time comes. And then we'll freak out about it, and we'll stress about it and journal. We'll journal about it. That's what we'll do. We'll write our feelings down. So we got Kincaid, who's a god. I mean, this man is just, come on. You got to put him in number 1. You got to quit trying to fight that, Madden. Stop it. AJ Terrell is good, okay? But Kincaid is just, he's got a little bit of that nos in him, okay? Little of the nos. Linebacker's great. Davis, Binns, Owen, great. The safeties aren't as amazing, but they're really good. They are good enough to get the job done. So this is a good team. I mean, a very solid team. X factor galore, particularly on defense. Offense, still X factor galore, except for Stromberg. We got Bo Friday's team here. Pretty solid team. If Fields doesn't do good this year, you kind of got to think, all right, it's time for Bo to move on because Bo's not going to stand a chance. Fields is just struggling where the other quarterbacks are not. And it's because he has paranoid sense of pressure. That's really it. I mean, that's the name of the game right there. He's paranoid. So no matter how good he gets, it's hard for him to get good. He hasn't had that one big season. This is year 4 now. And he just hasn't had that big season yet. And that is a problem. Because you got a good team around you here. There's no reason that you shouldn't be, doing very well. Linebacking crew signed Quay Walker, moved him over, playing right outside linebacker for us. So we got him in for a bit. Franklin, Jalen Johnson, Will Cox will be slot. Just an all-in-all solid team, and it's time to win. Now we got John Mako's team. Milner's a beast. Mooney's doing his thing. Hyatt, it is kind of tough there. A little bit tough, but for the most part, Freeland's probably not going to get signed. Quite a bit of these guys actually already got signed, like Jenkins, Wirfs. We don't have to worry about Robinson just yet. So we'll see what happens there. His team is a little bit older in some ways, but and I don't know why they're not starting Reed. Why they try to stop that every time it kills me. But it is what it is. Great defensive line, amazing defensive line, good linebackers. Brian is the only one that's probably he's okay, But, this is a good team. We'll be excited to see what they do this season. Hopefully, Super Bowl, nothing big. So Mac Fleece's team ended up going 13-4, which is, pretty impressive. Losing in the beginning of the season, then picking it up towards the end of the season. Going to the postseason, he won the divisional, he won the conference again, lost again in the Super Bowl, which is just insane, but at least now he has 2 conference championships, so, that's going to be hard to beat right at this moment in time. He's getting himself a good lead. He's having one good year, then one bad year, and he's getting real close to winning one. He's almost won one. He could have won 2 already, which would have been insane. So, yeah, we're just getting closer with this one. Now, going over the stats, Bryce Young did really good. Not fantastic, but really good. Defense, offense, both of them did great. Passing, you can see, is pretty solid. Sean Tucker's doing really good. And then we'll go over the contracts, too, this season. More guys just seem to, they really did want to sign. This is huge numbers, too, on sacks. Holy crap. Will Anderson with 20. Brian Breesy with 18.5. 12 with Tyree Wilson. Yikes. That's it. It's all the sacks. And then these interceptions are insane. Kincaid got 5. Just every cornerback that we have on our team was leading in interceptions, which is just huge. So I definitely think there are going to be guys that are in the yearly awards that, obviously they didn't get. CJ Stroud gets MVP, but obviously they didn't get. I forget what I was going to say. I don't know. Obviously, they didn't get the Pro Bowl. That's what I was going to say, because Super Bowl, they're too busy going to the Super Bowl. AFC, Devin Duvernay. Nice. Cool, sweet. Oh, Felix in this one goes in. All right. Let's go offensive player, NFC side. Okay, Devonta Smith. Sean Tucker was up there. Defensive player, we had 2 guys up there. And I think they should have been up there and actually won it. But, hey, Eric Peppers, offensive rookie. We had a guy up there as well. Can't believe he's that far down. That is just insane. Sean Tucker did really well. He was on the list. Quentin Johnston, nice. So far, so good. 2 defensive guys there. I don't see. Kincaid was close. And Terrell, I don't know how you did better than Kincaid. All right, so definitely a lot being spent. There's no doubt. So Bryce Young wanted a pretty hefty deal. It was a pretty big deal, so we agreed on $303 million, which is, it's a lot. It's a lot to soak in. Sean Tucker got signed, 7-year deal, $55 million. Not too bad. He worked with us. Wasn't too crazy. Quentin Johnson wanted $74 million for 6 years, so that's what we agreed upon there. Lipton's coming up on a contract. Don't know if he'll get it. Sam Laporta, $88 million, what we agreed upon with him. And it's a good contract. It's expensive, but Peter Skoronski signed $144 million. We signed Stromberg. We signed the center. I mean, it was a pretty good year. We even signed Tevin Jenkins to a 5-year deal, or, there's 5 years left on his deal, which isn't too bad at all. He's getting older, but it is what it is. We'll look to replace him in the time being, or, when it comes up. And then Nick Broker signed him to a massive deal. We signed Tyree Wilson to a $70 million deal. We still got good money to play with. This one I was more shocked on. Will Anderson Jr., he just didn't hit us for as hard as he could have. He's worth $40-something million, right? Right around there. That's what he's looking at. 40-something million per year is what he can hit. And he's getting... he was like wanting to play for us and like, hey, man, yeah, I'm just going to show up. $24 million, $25 million. I mean, this is, for his level of play, this is chump change. I mean, I'll pay it every day. I'm paying Brian Breesy basically the same amount of Skosh. Not too close, but Brian Breesy's getting a hefty penny. Okay, so he got paid now. Davis is very expensive. Binns got paid $66 million. Owen's probably not going to get paid. He's very expensive. Josh Kincaid also is incredibly expensive. He's just a very expensive dude. So that money is going to be first and foremost trying to sign Kincaid, because we still got a couple other guys too, some safeties, and that money will, get tight. But so far it's not too terrible. Bo Friday, another tough year for him. All right, so total Bo Friday, he went 8-9 this season, which isn't too terrible. All right, so the thing is he's just not leveling up. Justin Fields, he's not doing it. So it's pretty tough. He's 21-7. He's got no playoff wins to speak of. So the thing is, it's really, really tough. But you gotta more than likely just move on from Justin Fields at this point and just, say you tried. I mean, he's not really growing in overall, and it just is frustrating. It's really frustrating. There's better quarterbacks out there, and they don't cost this much money. This is a lot of money for a guy that's just not producing. You don't have a winning record. You haven't had a winning record once. You got a team like this around you. This is a very solid team. Great wide receivers, good tight end. Great offensive line. And you notice it because the guys aren't signing. That's the other thing. Like Peter Skoronski offered him a truckload of cash. And he didn't want it. And so he's going to have to be franchise tagged. Steve, he didn't want to play ball. It was tough. Honestly, it was really, 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 really tough because some of these guys, they just didn't want to play ball. Even Nick Broker was fighting that. It was really, really tough. You got Felix, who signed a pretty good deal. Expensive. He wanted a little bit more money than Anderson did, but he's worth every penny. Jalen Carter signed to a pretty good deal. He signed a 7-year deal, 8-year deal for Landry. Just trying to sign as many guys as we can. We ended up signing Christian Gonzalez. He signed for a pretty decent deal. I'll give him that. He signed for a pretty decent deal. And so we got these cornerbacks locked in for a bit, and, not too terrible. But some of these other guys, it's going to be hard. It is going to be difficult. Now, stats-wise, it wasn't too terrible. One would think that Justin Fields would get a little bit more XP, but he didn't. Same XP sliders as the other leagues. Gibbs did good. He had a split carries with Harris. Wide receivers did good. Nothing wrong there. Offensive line did good. It's not like he was, running for his life all the time. Isaiah Simmons exploded. Quay Walker did good. 13.5 sacks from Felix. Jalen Carter had 6. Terrell Tucker had 5 interceptions. Evan Wilcox got 4. It was a pretty solid season for the most part. It really was. It just, it sucks because it just wasn't good enough. And you want to see him start to have a winning record to some degree. We'll go to the NFC side for him. See if anyone's up on the list here. Yeah, I think he's going to turn it around, but I definitely think he needs to just get a new quarterback at this moment. So for him to move forward, and I know we had it listed as Justin Fields versus Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. The thing is if he wants to have any chance of actually coming back, he's got to get a new quarterback, and this team's too good. Good players are starting to not want to sign, so that's a big thing Bo's going to be doing. He's going to be getting a new QB. One that fits his hungry lifestyle. John Mako went 12-5 this season. His total record right now is 38-33 with one conference win. He lost to the Buccaneers, who was the 7th seed, lost to them. Bucs went next game and then got beat by Washington. New York was just really powerful this time. They ended up getting Justin Herbert, I believe, and did really, really good. So for the most part, CJ Stroud just crushed the team with the contract too. It was just, oh my God, it was ridiculously huge. First in passing TDs, fantastic there. Sanders, huge numbers. And in rushing touchdowns, massive numbers. Mooney, everyone did good. Did very, very good. Some of the guys were fighting the contracts this year. 14.5 sacks. Anderson, Greg had 12.5, 11.5 from Bryce. 5 interceptions from Binns, 5 from Russell as well, and 4 from Asante Samuel. So all in all, it was a really good season for him. I'm not going to go over the awards on this one here. But some of the guys that were on the contracts were just fighting it ever so slightly. So that was a little bit frustrating. So we'll go into the salaries here, what we're going to expect. Huge, $363 million. I mean, $60 million what we're paying him in 1 year. $60 million. I can't even get over that. It's just crazy to me. Such a huge contract. That's going to be John Mako's biggest downfall is the contract. It's going to have to be reworked. And some of these guys like Mooney's not going to see another contract. Hyatt, probably not. Looking to go get a starting wide receiver. Milner's here for a bit, and he's getting paid, but man, oh man, that is a massive contract. Robinson didn't want to sign, really. Contracts with him were a little frustrating. Signed with Nick, so that's a good thing there. Signed with Steve. Tevin Jenkins was already signed. Wirfs was already signed there. Greg was already signed. Signed with Will Anderson. He accepted a pretty decent deal, not too terrible. Pretty good. And then Brian Bresee signed as well. And then his contract wasn't too bad. $103 million. Wasn't too bad. Binns wanted just a truckload of cash. Trenton Simpson got signed. So that part was, pretty difficult there. Cornerbacks were already signed as well. So not too terrible. Free safety got signed to a 6-year deal. Really cheap. That was a good deal there. So for the most part, they're all kind of hurting in some ways, but they're all, pretty good off. I think Bo Friday's going to end up, getting a quarterback and then going from there. Now, the draft recap for Mac Fleece's team, pretty fantastic. Got what we needed to get. Hidden devs, too. So it was perfect. Trade out of the rest because we got to sign some guys. No need to draft right at this moment. We got guys signed, so we got to pull off the draft, not get too aggressive with it. $33 million to spend. Kincaid's coming up on a contract, and the dude is going to ask for, everything but probably my legs. So Bo Friday's draft, not too bad. Obviously got to go get a QB. But this guy, Peter Duvall, was the best dude in the draft. The best guy. And I was like, all right, well, he's probably a lower overall, but I'll get him because I'm not going to be able to get him at 16. He wouldn't have been there. And, maybe he'll have a good development. No, he's got a normal dev. So, yeah, took a chance on him. Can we turn him around, make him great? Yeah, but Bo Friday, you got to know he's pissed. Not happy. I mean, that's just kind of a crappy situation. Happened to be the worst quarterback draft, too, in the last 5 years, something like that. Terrible. Quincy Newman, good linebacker here. Some guys that were definitely needed on this team because they did have issues with signing guys, and that was a definite problem. Now, John Mako doesn't need a lot of guys, but his draft I would say it was pretty good. Got enough guys that are definitely going to make this team even better. some of these guys are just backups and other guys will actually be utilized. Mac Fleece's team is ready to go. Real good looking team here. So Sean Tucker is now 97 overall. He's a beast. Really good team. Really good team. So Jackson Smith and Jigba. You got Quentin Johnston. You got some really good guys. And I still don't know why they want to put Jackson Smith at the number 2 spot. I don't know why they do that. But on defense, too, you got Kincaid, who I don't know if he's going to sign. I don't know. I don't know if there's enough money. But for the most part, everyone is, pretty solid on this team. I think this team's ready to win a Super Bowl. They're getting close. They're going on year 5 now. They're close to winning one. All right, now we got Bo Friday. Now, this is Duval. This is the new quarterback. Unfortunately, not that great, but we'll see if he can get it done. He's got a great team surrounding him. So if there's a team that can get him caught up to speed and surround him with some, supreme talent, then, this is the team. I mean, the defense is just crazy. It's a great defense. Quay Walker, you got Isaiah Simmons, you just got so much talent here that it's insane. Very expensive team, by the way. This team is very, very expensive. So, and I know Mac Fleece's team is just ridiculously expensive as well. That team's probably even more expensive than this team to a degree because of Bryce Young. And I know John Mako's too. They're all running out of money. And so this is the team that's going to be starting. Pretty solid team for the most part. Next up, we got John Mako's expensive team. Burns, we're going to see how Burns does. Sharpton. Some young guys coming in too. And then Edmonds. I really wanted to start Edmonds, but I'm not going to start him just yet. Defensively, Asante Samuel, Gregg, Jalen Johnson. A great team here. Some linebacker issues a little bit, but, this team is quite expensive. So we'll see how they do this season. I think they'll do pretty good. So this season, Mac Fleece went 11-6. That brings his total to 49 wins with 36 losses. And right now he's currently in the lead. Very good, season for these guys. They just need to do a little bit more. Bryce Young is doing great. Sean Tucker, fantastic. Everybody's doing pretty good. Jackson Smith, he fit in just nicely. Everyone give him a round of applause. Welcome him in. Good sacks. It was pretty good. 14 sacks from Will Anderson, 8 from Bryce, but everyone's so expensive. That's the thing about this team is there's going to be guys that just can't sign because it's just too expensive. I mean, guys are just getting really good. Hendon Hooker got MVP. That's amazing. And then we'll go to offensive rookie. Okay, nice. Defensive rookie. Best quarterback. Shocking that he's not up there, but it is what it is. Best wide receiver, Jackson Smith. It's good to see. We got a number 2 on the list, Will Anderson, for best deep line. Best deep back. They're all lying about these, but still, it's a good one. It was a good season, good awards. They ended up going to the conference championship and losing to the Cowboys. So that's unfortunate, but all in all, this team is a very powerful team, and they're getting really close to winning a big one. Pro Bowl, you got Bryce Young. Who else did you get? Jackson Smith. Nice. Sam Laporta's in. Look at him go. Peter Skoronski, Paris Johnson, Stromberg, Whippler. Oh, wow. Will Anderson Jr. Jalen Carter's out there, too. Not a shock with that. Not at all. So, yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good season. I just really expecting them to win the Super Bowls here soon because they're getting close. They are the closest team so far. Bo Friday's got a big old smile on his face. 14-3 he went. He ended up only winning the wild card round. They ended up losing, but the quarterback got to a star dev. Looked really good. But 14-3, and Duval led the NFL in everything. But it was domination. I really thought, I was like, all right, they're going to win. Bo Friday is going to take over with Peter Duval, and he's going to be the new dude. They're going to win. These guys are so close. They are just so close in year 5. But he actually had the highest record during the regular season at 14-3. No one else came close to 14-3 besides, 13-4 was the closest one by Fleece last year. And 12-5 and 11-6 for Mako was his best year. So, that bumped his total up to 35-50. Now, that one season jumped him up huge because he was getting crushed. He was not positive. He's still not positive. He needs to make that up, but he's doing a lot better with the quarterback that he has currently. And obviously the stats speak for themselves. The quarterback on his rookie season, this is the most impressive numbers, coming from a rookie, particularly one. He was drafted really high and came out and he didn't look that good, but he had the best traits. He had all the things that would make him successful. And look at him. 5,500 passing yards, 44 TDs. This is like season pro, sacked 45 times too. Season vet type numbers. Really good. And then you even had Laurie, the running back, get 10 freaking rushing touchdowns, which is just insane. But yeah, everyone's doing great. This is a great unit. This unit can definitely win. Isaiah Simmons did fantastic. Quay Walker did good. Felix had 18.5 sacks, which is amazing. Jalen Carter had 11. Very productive season for Bo. He's finally back. And I would imagine that Peter Duvall is Bo Friday. Look at him go. He's the first coach to get Coach of the Year. Bo Friday, first coach to get Coach of the Year. That's amazing. Yeah, Peter Duvall, he's got to be best quarterback too. That's just insane. You're killing me with this Kurt Goldman. Come on. There's no way. You just can't even tell the truth. That is just insane. All right, well, he got screwed over. But I got to say, Bo Friday's back, and he's got the jazz hands going. So Mako's season ended pretty strong. They ended up going to the Super Bowl, losing by 1 point. The regular season, they went 9-8, which is crazy. So now he's gone to a Super Bowl as well. So he's a conference champion, and he's a wild card champion as well. So he has that. He's won the wild card. He's won the conference championship. And he's 50-35 as a coach. So they are very solid. Very, very solid. During the regular season, it was rough. There's injuries. There's things like that. But then once they started rolling, it was just, look out whoever was in their way because they were just crushing them down. 136 tackles from Trent. So we got Will Anderson, 11 sacks. Greg at 9, 8.5 for Brian Breesy. Really good for the most part. It sucks that none of these guys have won yet in year 5, which is really frustrating. Jaron Hall's MVP. It's so crazy. But the thing is it's just grinding, man. It's just fighting the good fight. Someone's got to do it, and the freaking Chiefs were just so ridiculous. Jermaine Sharpton is an offensive rookie. Not as many guys on here. Our guys, we have some guys close on the list, but all in all, I think Mako's team is really scary. Not one of these teams yet have won a Super Bowl. They're getting close. We'll see how Bo Friday, if Bo Friday had a better quarterback too, because one of these guys is getting close, and two of them. And now freaking Friday's won a wild card championship, so a little wild card action going on there. So the draft recap form is really good. Mac did well, got a safety. We weren't able to sign our safety, got 2 D tackles. This is surprisingly the best guy available in the 3rd round, almost the 4th round at D tackle. So that's who we picked up. Got another safety too for backup measures, but for the most part, this is as good as we can do. We got $10 million left to spend, and it's getting tight. So Peter Skronsky does not want to sign with Bo. He just doesn't. He's been franchise tagged twice now. And it's time to just trade him away for the 1st overall pick, and he's worth it. He is that good. Peter Skronsky is he's a legend, man. He's a legend. He's a golden goose. Looking at the draft recap for our boy Bo Friday. Bo Friday. It's the big boy. We got Johnny Pickney, cornerback. He was just so good. It was like, all right, we'll take him. No problem. We'll take him. And then we got Bullock, who's going to replace our boy Peter Skronsky, who's now the devil. He's a devil, man. We got Wayne Stockton just because we needed a backup running back, and this man is stocked up business. We got Clifford, middle linebacker, hidden dev. He's a beast. Fullback, who's a hidden dev, beast. And then some backup guys. Pretty good draft. All right, here's John Mako's draft here. Wasn't as many good guys in the positions that we needed, so it's kind of rough there. But a good halfback here, needing a halfback. Got everyone on our list, just not all of the guys we wanted. We didn't really have good draft picks, so we did the best with what we had. Did the best in the free agency, signed some good guys. We'll go over the roster, but it's a good team. This team's ready to go. Here's Mac Fleece's team, Bryce Young, Tucker. Everyone's just looking real good. Jackson Smith and Jigba. Yeah, this is a dangerous team. Team is very, very dangerous. Both sides of the ball. I mean, everyone is just really freaking good. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens here, but this is a solid team. All right, here is Bo Friday's team. He's got Pat Duvall with a superstar dev. Went from a normal dev to superstar dev. That's all Bo Friday needed. It's just a little love. He just needed a little love at the quarterback spot, and it was just great. Merritt, we got a great offensive line that is none of the guys like before. None of them. There's like none of the guys we drafted. They're all gone. And then Nolan, who's a beast, and he's a beast in his contract as well. But Gibbs, and then the thing is we're going to put Stockton up. Stockton will end up getting the more than likely, and I'm already assuming, they didn't put him as the power halfback. Wow. That's impressive. But defensively, you can just see here, just domination. Really nice work. I got to say, this is a great defense. This is the starting unit for John Mako. Fantastic offensive line. Milner, good guys. Tight end a little bit struggling here, but this team is still just a very, very good team. Linebackers have been a little bit of a struggle, but everyone else, has been pretty good. So this team trying to last as long as they can on the cornerbacks and just be a dominant team. Right now, I think Mac Fleece's looks really good, but this is a team that'll definitely be a contender. So Mac Fleece went 14-3. He ended up winning the divisional, but he lost the conference championship to the Cowboys. And that brings his total up to 63 wins, 39 losses, 2 conference championships, 2 divisional championships, which is good. He's obviously frustrated because he wants to win the big one. Bryce Young had a great season, first in the NFL in yards and in TDs. Sean Tucker's just crushing it. This team is great. Eric Peppers doing great there. Carlos Davis, Mins. I mean, it's just... the numbers were staggering. Tyree Wilson, 17.5 sacks. Brian Bresee, 17.5 sacks. 15 sacks from Anderson. I mean, it's just so many sacks. So it's sad that they fell short because this team was just that dynamic. And Bryce Young wins MVP, which is pretty crazy. Pretty cool to see. Mac Fleece gets Coach of the Year. Obviously, it didn't translate into a win. Brian Bresee, Defensive Player of the Year. Best quarterback is Bryce Young. So all in all, it was a good season. Still falling slightly short. He's getting closer. He's getting closer. It's tough. It's tough for these guys. So our boy Bo Friday crapped his pants. The new quarterback, just couldn't do it. But all in all, it was a fantastic showing by the boys. I mean, still got a young quarterback. They did well last year. They did great this year. Kind of all right. Nothing like crazy. No one's winning any awards. The sacks could be higher, definitely. Felix got 13. There was some good play from some of these guys here, but Bo's got to be frustrated. So our boy John Mako, who is a dog, he went 9-8 again on the season. It was ridiculous. There was injuries, blah, blah, average dropping, and then boom, coming back, and it was just this crazy action going on. And, no, I mean, it was pretty painful. I'm not going to lie. It was very painful. 9-8. It was like, oh, my God. We were third in the division, too, so how we actually got into the wild card, don't ask me. But other teams had to do really bad for us to get in the wild card as the third in our division. The other two teams did better than us. I was like, we're done. We're not going to get in. We get to the playoffs. Wild card, we end up winning by a point. We win by 4 points. And then it just keeps getting, as we started getting into the playoffs and just started lighting it up more and more, you can just see that our numbers started getting higher. 27-14. Then we go, and we're just like, yo, we're going to just crap on your soul here, Bengals. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. We are just going to crush you down. Stroud is the first quarterback to win the Super Bowl now, but now Mako and Mac Fleece have both been to the Super Bowl 2 times. John Mako's won it once. He had 2 seasons at 9-8. Mako's total is 59-43. 59 wins, 43 losses. Now he's got 1 Super Bowl win, 1 conference championship, and 1 wild card win as well. But he's actually got less wins than Fleece by 4, because Fleece is at 63 wins, 39 losses, 2 conference championships, and 2 divisional championships as well. So it's, a real close one here. But great game. Honestly, it was just a great game, more for our side. Defense just played clean, nothing crazy, and we got 2 interceptions. So we won the turnover, and then CJ Stroud just didn't make mistakes, which is something that I like to see. Because it happens, especially in Fast Sim. Like, it definitely happens. You will see, just crappy play, especially if the guy's not motivations, but his traits are garbage. So CJ Stroud was first in the league in passing yards and in TDs. He's just a hero. This man's a hero. Jaden Edmonds, 16 TDs, and I love this. I love it. He's out of FAU. I love when a player comes out of basically a no-name college. I'm going to put him as a captain because of it. That's how much it jazzes me up. Comes out of FAU, and then he's just like, yeah, I'm going to just beat dudes up. I love that. It's amazing. And then, good, just all in all, good production from the receiving crew. Just great. Milner's great. 22 tackles for a loss for our boy Brian Breesy, which is insane. The dude got 85 tackles, 16 sacks. Like, that's so insane for a D tackle. Like, that's crazy to me. That's actually crazy to me. So Glenn Winters obviously crushed it with the interceptions, and, he's just happy that he's a part of the team and that he started. Because it was an MVP also of the Super Bowl went to our boy CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud got MVP this year. He really exploded on the scene this year. He did really, really good. And we'll go to the NFC because the AFC, I don't really care about the NFC or the AFC anymore. How is this even possible? CJ Stroud's not up there. That's insane to me. I don't get it. And our running back's not even on the list. Best wide receiver, Milner's on the list at least. John Michael Schmitz is he's getting aggressive. Tristan Wirfs is not going to get re-signed. He's too expensive, by the way. I don't think it's going to happen. All right, so we are going to be trying to trade AJ Terrell with Mac Fleece's team. He's too expensive. The Cowboys are offering us a pretty solid offer there, and that's going to help out with our cap room, because you can see right now we're negative, so I got to get underneath that, and it's always a fun task to do. But getting rid of him saved us now on our cap space. When we go to our salaries, $2.77 million is what we have in cap space, which is a good indication that, we've obviously been spending a lot of good money. Now, some of this money may come back, because now we got Sean Tucker, who's really good. And we could trade him away, but now we get our guy Robinson for $41 million. Okay, so that's for 5 years. That's us cutting. We're paying him $55 million. For 5 years, we're going to pay him $41 million. Okay, so a bit of a decrease there for us, and that's good. And obviously the Cowboys got the skosh to be able to do it. They got a lot of money. So the Eagles for Sean Tucker they were willing to give us the first projected pick of next year. And it's projected, so we don't know. Now that they have Tucker, it's probably not going to be the case. All right, so here's Mac Fleece's team here. 2 strong safeties. These guys are going to actually go to cornerback. Wide receiver, not too bad there. Halfback, good power back there. And then a kicker that has a hidden dev. I wonder what it is. But Shooter McPherson is not on the team to save some money. So Mac Fleece made a big trade here, though, to save some money, trading away Nick for Felice, and he's a hidden dev rookie, so we'll see how that goes. He fits our scheme, at least a backup center and a backup quarterback here. I got to trade for backups instead of go signing them in the free agency. All right, so we are threading bankruptcy, and that's exactly how I want it. And it'll get tighter next year, too. We have safety valves, but we only have $1.38 million to play with. So I think when we get into the offseason, we'll get some more cash going. But this team is, it's threading that line. I mean, I don't even have $2 million to play with, and it's all because of Peter Skoronski. I mean, he's one of those guys. Like, on the offensive line, he's getting double. It's Ricky Stromberg's getting. Ricky Stromberg's not seeing that contract. Luke is not seeing that contract. Tevin is not coming close to that contract. He's just hanging on. I don't mind Tevin's contract. It's real simple. After this year, it drops $4 million. So that's beautiful. Trading for that Julian guy, he'll be able to build up quickly. Tyree Wilson signed a pretty good deal. After 2031, it drops, and it's pretty nice. And then the only time we get a breather from Will Anderson's is the last year of his deal, which is $13 million. So when he's 31. But yeah, so that's basically there. We got ourselves, boy, oh boy, we got an expensive team. Cornerback here, these two guys are going to have to step up this year. Michael Bibbs, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. The safeties here, it is what it is. Practice squad guys. All right, pretty solid draft for your boy Bo Friday. He's got a lot more money than Mac Fleece, and he's going to be spending it more, especially this last little run here. Good cornerback. Had to trade our cornerback, so that was good. It panned out for us. Got a new left tackle, situating that line because his line's in shambles. Here's John Mako's draft. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Not too shabby. Needed a starting wide receiver. Got him, Bobby Hood. He's going to be the best ever in the entire Soloverse. And this team's just ready to light it up. So we're trading for a one-year pro Archer. It's going to take 2 seconds. And Kerr, we're giving him so that our depth charts are the same and all that hoopla. But he's backup left tackle anyways on the Browns. So one-year pro star dev. I'll take it. All right, we got John Mako's team here. Pretty solid team, if I must say. Some young guys on the team. Some of the older guys, like we had the Eagles. We have Miles Sanders. He's gone. So, yeah, I mean, the wide receivers, everyone's still pretty young on this team. And so far, this is the team to beat. So we'll see. Linebackers have been a little bit of some shambles going on, but it'll be all good. Mac Fleece ends the season at 11-6. Goes to the wild card, loses to Green Bay. So that puts his total record right now at 74 wins, 45 losses, 2 conference championships, 2 divisional championships. And obviously you could throw in the wild card as well, but I'm only talking about where he stopped. Okay, so yeah, I mean it was not as good of a season as obviously it should have been. And that just seems to be the name of the game when it comes to the playoffs. Is just, it's up and down. Bryce Young's doing great. He did fantastic. Bijan Robinson was his first time on the team. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Eric Peppers. I mean, there was a lot, but just not enough. Obviously, sacks. Will Anderson 15, Brian Breesy. All in all, pretty solid season, but not what you wanted. Mac Fleece has still not won a Super Bowl, which is pretty frustrating for him. You can definitely tell with that. And Bryce Young's already a Hall of Famer. 6 yearly awards. He's already hit the Hall of Fame mark. He will be a Hall of Famer real easy. And I mean, just easy. So, yeah, there's some Hall of Famers showing up on this team already, but it's cool to see that not even in 10 years' time, Bryce Young's already a Hall of Famer. So Bo Friday had a pretty good season. He went 11-6 and won the divisional round. He didn't get past the conference championship, which is a sad state of affairs, but he's finally building it up, and his rookie quarterback, Duval, or not rookie, but young quarterbacks done, pretty good. I mean, it's put now Bo Friday's a 50 wins, 69 losses, 1 divisional championship, 1 wild card championship. Not that great with 3-14 the first year, 4-13 the second, 6-11 year 3, 14-3 year 4, and then he went 6-11 and 6-11 again. And it was just like, man, right there I thought he was going to pick it up and be a beast. He didn't. He had 2 off years, then 11-6. And that's partly because some of his guys left. They didn't sign, so he had to redo the offensive line. It was kind of a big deal for Bo Friday because he just couldn't get those contracts signed. Those guys wanted too much money. And not having a quarterback cost him all of that because Justin Fields just didn't get there, and guys didn't believe in the system. They just didn't believe. John Mako ends up going 11-6 and winning the wild card, losing the divisional. So pretty painful there, but Jaron Hall's just been a beast lately. I will say that. That dude has been an absolute beast. But, CJ Stroud's done very good. The team's done really good. I want to see, at the end, who's going to have the best. They're still in it. Bo Friday's getting kind of crushed, but he could come back. There's still a few years to be able to do that for him. But the team is, pretty freaking solid. CJ Stroud's already a Hall of Famer as well, which is amazing. And Sean Tucker is almost a Hall of Famer in this one, which is pretty wild on the Titans there. So, yeah, I mean, all in all, it's been a very good rebuild for him. John Mako, he's won a Super Bowl. He's been to another one. He's done well. As good as he's wanted to do, but still. He's still a champion of the people. Mac Fleece's draft, pretty successful. Good wide receiver. Ended up trading up for this one here. Cap room's a little negative, but it's okay. We're going to get it squared away. These are guys we needed to draft, and, I like him. This guy will be middle linebacker, things like that, but very good team. So John Mako is getting a new right tackle. He's going to be switched over to left tackle. Pretty solid player. Middle linebacker. We'll kind of move him around. And then punter. John Mako's team's looking pretty good. He's got $44 million to spend. And there's only 2 years left. So, this year, I think it's a good team. We'll sign the guys. We're going to start this rookie, Walter. He's really good. Really good rookie tight end. We moved over Brian Hartwig to left tackle. He fits that perfectly. Signed him to a good deal. Put the center that we got in the draft, who's really good, behind Steve in case he starts declining. And then we got Jeremiah Davis. We got rid of Greg. We didn't sign him. And then we signed Davis. Travis Rooks. So that's who we signed from the free agency. Replace him. We don't, at this moment in time, it's a 2-year grind to just try and win, as fast as you can. So we're not going to be relying on the draft too much. We're relying on, after this year, it's trading. That's basically it. You're going to trade for a good safety because you're planning on retiring. You want one good last run. You might as well do it. So Mac Fleece on the season ended up going 13-4, as you guys can see, and they are in the Super Bowl right now. So we're going to simulate this and see if he wins the Super Bowl. This is his 3rd Super Bowl he's been to. He wins this. He ties Mako. He actually takes the lead with Mako so far this season. If Mako wins again, then that's one thing, but they lost. You're got to be kidding me. Dude, 3? Oh, my Lord, have mercy. That's so painful. That's so painful, dude. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. He can't win the big one right now. How is this possible? This is crazy to me. Just absolutely crazy. And he only had 23 TDs. Wow. God, the second halfback had 10. Oh my God, that is so painful. That is ridiculous. 19 sacks from Will Anderson, but man, oh man, that's painful. So Big Bo, he went 9-8. Poor guy. I feel for him, man. I really do, because the thing that you guys got to think about in this is it's like real life too. It really is. There's aspects of real life into this. And what I'm saying is if you rebuild around an entire player, you spend, draft picks, all of that, and you build this great team around this player, and you spend the money, and the player doesn't work out, and someone could have done a better job from a different team or from the draft, but yeah, you have all this money invested, and you just keep trying to make it work. Those guys end up leaving. The entire offensive line, look, where's the OGs? Where are the OGs? Where's the OGs? There's 2 OGs in this entire offense, 2 of them. He had to do a secondary rebuild. And that happens. These guys, if they're really good, they're not going to want to sign if they're not winning. I mean, at some point in time, they're going to want to be like, hey, give me a lot of money or I'm going to want to, fly the coop. And so that's what they did. And so he had to do like a secondary rebuild. He got less staff points than every other coach, John Mako and Mac Fleece. He crushed them, or they crushed him in staff points. And then he had even some staff guys leave. And then, you're talking about, too, this division that we're in has gotten really good. So he's just, almost every single one of us went positive above 500. Almost every single one of us. So, that's pretty impressive. And he's got a high overall team. He's got the right playbooks and schemes, everything like that. His team is good. It's just, he's fighting an uphill battle. He has been for years. I mean, he really has. He invested so much time and energy into Justin Fields. Justin Fields was not getting the XP. And as you guys can see in this, if you're doing good, you should get XP. We got too good of a system, and it was just an uphill battle trying to make Justin Fields really good in this. So Mako makes it to the conference championship, loses, unfortunately. He went 11-6 on the season. That puts his total at 81 wins, 55 losses, 1 Super Bowl, 1 conference championship win, 1 divisional championship win, and then 1 wild card win, or 2 wild card wins. And obviously he's won more wild cards and more divisional rounds, but I'm just stopping at what was the end result of what did you get, right? So that still puts Mac Fleece ahead in wins, but not in Super Bowl wins. Mac Fleece has also been to 3 Super Bowls and has not won one, which is just crazy. He's 87-49. Mako's 81-55, but with 1 Super Bowl win, so he's obviously ahead. And then Bo Friday is 59-77. So Bo Friday obviously is the guy who's just gotten crushed. And CJ Stroud, gets the top quarterback and what have you there. But, it just sucks that we didn't get – CJ Stroud gets MVP. Just sucks that we didn't get a Super Bowl win. It's 1 Super Bowl right now, and it's pretty frustrating to me. So Mac Fleece is going to be doing a lot of trades to clear up some cap room. His team is old, and they're expensive. And so he's got like $2 million. So unfortunately, Bo Friday went 10-7, didn't get past the divisional, so he's won a wild card at least, but it's frustrating for him. So John Mako went 12-5, pretty good season, didn't get past the wild card, but that's all right. That's all right. He's done pretty well. So Mac Fleece ended his 10-year career this season with 11-6, lost in the wild card, went to 3 Super Bowls. Didn't win any. 111 wins, 59 losses, 3 conference championship wins, and 2 divisional divisional championships as well. So, he's had a very successful career. He obviously didn't win the big one. We'll have to change that in another rebuild because, Mac Fleece, he deserves it. I mean, he really does. He won't go down as a Hall of Fame coach, which is just crazy. But Bryce Young will go down as a Hall of Fame coach, which is good to see. Robinson is up there and Tucker. So 2 running backs that ended up going into the Hall of Fame that were around him. So that's pretty huge for us. And there was quite a bit of Hall of Famers on this team, but it was tough. It was just a tough road to hoe here. Sam Laporta went to the Hall of Fame. Peter Skoronsky's close, but Stromberg was close. Whippler, he was close. Really good guys, but it was definitely very, very, very difficult. A lot of guys that came through his system ended up doing just fantastic. Brian Breese's a Hall of Famer. Will Anderson's a Hall of Famer. I don't think Binns is there. Is Binns? Binns, it will be a Hall of Famer. He will be, which is huge. I mean, that's just massive. Really, really massive. So, it's been crazy, man. This was a tough one. This was really tough because to put so much energy into all three teams was just like, wow, it's going to take me forever. So I was trying to do it as quick as possible, but there's Mac Fleece. Bryce Young is definitely a Hall of Famer. They didn't win the big one, but he definitely ended it on a pretty solid note. More successful than 90% of all coaches. So Bo Friday definitely pissed off. He went 8-9 last season, 77-93. He definitely came in third place. There's nothing he could do. Justin Fields, it was much harder for him with Justin Fields. He didn't stand a chance compared to the other two guys. I thought he would stand somewhat of a chance. I thought he'd have a couple of good seasons where he'd take it far. And he had year 7, he went 11-6, won the divisional championship, almost went to the Super Bowl. Year 4, he went 14-3 with the rookie, and only got to the wild card and won. So that was pretty tough for him. But all in all, he's had a great team. He's had a great team. He's had good production. The quarterback couldn't sign. There was a few guys that left him. And, it doesn't really show how good he technically is and what he had to deal with. Yes, he's lost more than he's won. There's no question about that. It was tough for him. He really, really, really had just a tough time with the guys that he had. But Duvall is going to go down as a Hall of Famer. He didn't get it done on the Bears, but it is what it is. He did better than Bryce Young in this version. He didn't do as good as CJ Stroud, but he was really close. And this quarterback's had 3 years less. So this quarterback's been very productive, but obviously he's going to want to go play somewhere else if he's not winning. And that's just kind of what happened with Bo Friday. I want to win Bo Friday a Super Bowl too, because it's rough not winning one. So Mako finished the season 11-6. He also didn't get past the divisional, so he won a wild card, and that brings his record to 104 wins, 66 losses, 1 Super Bowl win, 1 conference championship win, 1 divisional championship, and 3 wild card championships. So that puts him at number 1. He's got 104. Now, he didn't win as much as Fleece didn't go to as many Super Bowls, but he did win a Super Bowl, so that just carries a little bit more girth. If Fleece won just 1 Super Bowl, Fleece would have won. So Mako won with CJ Stroud. Fleece came in real close second. I mean, basically, I would say because he had 111 wins with 59 losses, and he went to 3 Super Bowls, I'd say he's just slightly under Mako. And I mean just slightly. So it sucks that he didn't win a Super Bowl.